Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone taking it personally, like,
Well,
geez,
you know what
guys.
I take personally? Game mastering. And you know what else I take personally? These cool people that are my friends that I play games with from time to time. But welcome everyone to episode or session 6. This is a session. Star Trek's episodes. These are sessions. Session 6 of Dragon's Demand, a Pathfinder first edition actual play run by myself and 5 of my friends who are super cool people. And we play games together, and we sometimes kill kobolds. Basically, an entire family of kobolds. It was a whole thing. And then we take their bodies and we mash them together into some sort of
Yeah.
horrible abomination that we
Yeah.
then use to go back and slaughter the other half of their family. Absolutely just horrific and gory. But with that being said, we're going to go around the table. We are going to have everyone introduce themselves, and then we're going to dive right into Session 6 of Dragon's Demand, Kobold Redux? I don't know, I don't really have a name for it, but we'll figure it out. So we're going to go Blau, Zeb, Patrick, Atomic, and Aaron. Take it away, gentlemen, and let's get this show on the road.
Hi there, I'm Blau/Joe, and I'm playing Epius, the mad scientist, wizard.
I'm Zeb. I'm playing a ranger by the name of Gris Hrutson, who is socially awkward.
I'm Patrick. I'm playing. What am I? Who am I playing? I keep forgetting. I'm only in 3 of your games. Lucas Ilka, and I am a cleric of Milani.
Hey everybody, I'm Atomic. I'm playing Calgadia, the Blood Razor, and time for the bodies to hit the floor.
Yes, I love it.
And yeah, I'm Aaron. I'm playing Rikus Vol, the half-orc fighter, who saw the most kobolds he's ever seen in his life last session.
Beautiful. And of course, I am Dare Wolf, the Game Master. Super excited to be here as always. When we last left off, our intrepid adventurers, you had through the basement of the fallen wizard's tower. You had made your way down and into the kobold's den, which was in the old quarry, roughly a half a mile or so just outside to the east of the town of Belhaim. The battle was vicious, it was violent, it was bloody, but for all intents and purposes, it was over rather quick. You stomped in there, stomped on some kobolds, and then the only reason that delve into the kobold den ended was because a certain Calgadir missed a perception check and fell into a hole. I was also in a hole once, and much like Calgadir, I got out of it, which is a good thing. But we're going to open up our scene the day after. You've had a evening to rest. You've patched up your wounds, healed yourselves up, given yourselves a bit of a breather, perhaps even had some meals and whatnot. But we're going to open up once more back in the Wise Piper. Now, there's a couple of things I want to make note of. Similar to the evening prior, you notice that the Wise Piper is once again, and you've been in town now for close to a week, you've gotten a feel for what the average comings and goings of different locations, especially the Wise Piper, which has become a kind of home base for you. But you notice once again that the Wise Piper appears to be relatively empty. Talia, the orange or more blonde-haired woman who you had done a detect magic on and found that she was covered in both kind of illusion magic and some alteration magic, and it wasn't powerful, but it was distinctly noticeable. She is distinctly absent this morning, and in her place is one of her attendees, as it were, one of her, I suppose, waitresses or assistant bartenders, a young woman with red hair, and she is seeing to the 5 of you, as well as the one other person who is sitting at the bar. How would you like to proceed?
I'll talk to her. Hello. Is Talia here today?
Oh, no, sorry. She actually called in sick today. Not really much like her. She something about the weather being all rainy. Never seen it rain as much as this. If it keeps going on like this, the Verdun River is going to spill over into the town. Although I hope that doesn't happen. Are you all doing all right? Was were the eggs and bacon enough for you this morning?
Yes. Just was wondering if she was. If you know where it is, we could call upon her.
Well, she's probably at her home, which is on the north side. She's been staying at the Bitten Lodge. But neither here nor there. Was there something particular you needed to ask her? I could leave a
No,
note
no.
for her.
No, that's fine. No, thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And happy day to you. She goes back to having just a quiet conversation. The man that's sitting at the bar looks to be she looks to be early 20s, late teens. He looks to be early 20s, late teens, and you can see that there's a bit of flirtation going on between the two of them. He's likely there having breakfast just because he wants to talk to her. But you return back to the table with your other compatriots, and I once again leave the scene to you.
So,
Empty.
what is she?
She's at a place up north, Bits and Beans or something along those lines. I don't know. Something Bitten Lodge or something. I guess we could try to stop by, but that's not on our way out back to the lair. It's just weird that she wouldn't be here when she's always been here before.
Well, who else has business to take care of? I know I need to do something with that dinosaur corpse I'm holding on to. And perhaps some better armor. Looks down at
If I
his
want to take
now
the
holding
day,
armor.
I'm not going to complain. It'll give me time to work.
You're still working on that.
Oh, I need at least 8 hours and some to recover my.
But it has been
abilities.
at least today. You have had one evening of rest, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we got back
Right.
in the evening, so I mean, I'm fine with the gives Ippius time to do that. I want to go and look at maybe some better armor because Chuggator looks at his and it's just full of like spear holes.
Mhm.
And then I want to talk to a leather worker and see if I can get that raptor made into a hat.
Oh
If-
God.
If you're going to go talk to the leather worker, could you give him these measurements and say, I want some leather armor? He'll hand over a folded piece of paper.
Yeah,
There
I
is
have coin for
a
it.
crash of thunder. This storm that we'll call her Samantha, that's one of the waitresses, one of the bartender gals that works at the inn. She actually starts. She like jumps in place as the whole building. It sounded close, like perhaps even the lightning when it had struck close to the Verdurin fork, or maybe on the other side of the river. And she just looks around, and then that pitter patter, that kind of just, if you ever heard rain that comes down in sheets, it's just like a whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Doesn't sound like it's droplets, but it's sheets of rain coming down. It sounds like that outside of the inn. And though the building is sturdy, it's been well constructed, and the roof has been looked after, unlike certain libraries, we see just ever so often just a drip of water perhaps hits the table in its center, just indicating how waterlogged everything has truly become.
Chris just pushes a cup just so it.
And then just tink,
I-
tink.
Eppius
I
kind of
I wasn't finished, but okay.
So it's more of a bloop, bloop, bloop.
Eppius kind of stares off in the middle distance, idly remarking on the lightning. Well, hopefully that keeps up. That'll help with the elemental summoning.
Anything anyone else needs while I'm out? We do need the bolts, arrows.
Uh,
Well, I
Well,
could
I
use
maybe
a set of bolts. Just a short set. Not really.
Gris finished eating. He's just got his whole quiver on there. He's just sharpening arrows, just on the table.
Calgator just has a plate of just straight up bacon.
Well, yeah, we know.
Well, who needs eggs?
No, he's ate all the eggs. It wasn't a plate of eggs; it was a bowl of eggs, and now he's just eating bacon.
Well, I was going to take a trip to the smithy anyway about maybe what they could do for me for another sword.
Together then.
Perhaps a shield, yes. And if there's, you said there was an apothecary or an alchemist here. Maybe some additional healing potions might be worthwhile.
Yes, her name was oh god, what was her name? What was her name?
Oh, you told me her name. What was it?
Was it Zine? Is that the one I went to?
Yeah, Zine's tonics.
Zine Tonics? That's right, yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought you
just
said her name was- thought you said her name was Barbara.
that was the barmaid. Look, that's a different thing. Alchemist, just right out the door, she's right there.
Yeah, well, Bacchus Smithy is right over there, and
How convenient.
Rankus points. Well, if
We
it's
do
all
have
the
two.
same, I think I'll go to the smithy first.
We do have two smithies. They might have different inventory, right? Unless Chance.
Well, I'm gonna go up to
This is
the,
Smiley, actually.
I'm gonna go up to the lodge, so that chance is if the chance is actually a smithy, not a smiley.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Millie.
I'll
We
stop
just
by
gather-
there and then
We
maybe
just
Snow
gather in
high.
a circle and smile at each other. That's all we do.
Kumbaya,
hit the
my
shirt.
dragon, kumbaya. There it is.
I just imagine Calgadir doing Kumbaya. It's fucking
and then
hilarious.
maybe back by the woolen goods and the shrine of the seven roses. So I'll
So
head up north.
here's what we're gonna do. I'd like to follow Rikus for a moment. You're heading off to the smithy, which is directly across the street from the Wise Piper. Is that
Yeah, I
fair
think
enough to say?
I know. I mean, is Calgadir going to go with,
Yeah.
or do you want to check the other smithy and then we reconvene and compare prices and your inventory?
I mean, he's just looking for some basic armor, so he's not
Yeah.
really worried. So he can go with.
Well, maybe on the way, Rikus just sort of like taps his breastplate. And says, well, they made this, and they did a very good job, I think. A little dinged up now, but
Yes, you barely got stabbed.
Barely got stabbed. It's basically means you didn't get stabbed. Isn't that how that means? Partly stabbed is also partly not stabbed. I don't know, something along those lines.
Up half stabbed.
Cloudy.
So
raining with the chance of
as
stabbings.
Helgadir and Rikus go to exit out the front door of the Wise Piper, you push against the door, and you've ever been in a storm that is just so fierce and so intense that literally it is though the elements are attempting to keep you inside. You go to push on that kind of swinging, heavy, solid, but at all other times relatively easy to open door, and you push. You get it about 6 inches open, and then it slams back as this gust of wind. And you get a quick glimpse outside, and the streets are sodden and soggy, completely waterlogged. You don't see a soul walking the streets right now. And there is again another flash of lightning and a crash of thunder. The building once again shakes. What would you like to do?
You think they'll be in?
No, like as not.
Is there over the horrible slamming sheets of rain? Can we hear possibly the faded ting of a hammer on anvil?
You can give me a perception check and I'll let you know.
Let's see. Come on,
Good at those.
Calgadir, don't let me down.
I think he said their work area was like a lean-to. I doubt they're in.
It might be. Or I mean,
I
they might be
absolutely
doing.
did say that it was a lean-to. That is correct.
Yeah, it's like an open forge.
Kilgadir, you perhaps walk up to the door and maybe just lean into it. Perhaps even press it open slightly just to see if you can hear anything. You do not hear the telltale signs of a smithy hard at work, the whooshing of the forge, the coal being ignited, and air, oxygen being pumped into it. What you do hear is at the end of last session, I described this sort of faint, distant, almost chanting kind of noise. That faint, distant chanting, it seems louder. It seems closer. Do you speak Draconic?
I believe I do.
I believe you do
Yes,
as well.
I do. Common, Draconic, and Giant.
Great green and black wings rise up, fall down, and bring destruction to those that would do us harm. That is the chant that you hear. It is not a single voice, it is not two voices, but it is a chorus of voices. With the rain and the thunder and the crashing of these sheets of rain, it is hard to tell where this chanting is coming from. In fact, it almost seems to ride upon the very storm itself. There is another crash of thunder, and just outside of that small crack, you see a bolt of lightning strike the very building directly across the street from you, which is Achilles Meats. The roof, the thatched roof, seems to ignite for a moment, but is very quickly put out by the very rain, those sheets of rain I've described. What would you like to do?
I think the first thing Kagura would do is run, charge towards that building, make sure that no one was hurt.
Give me a strength check on that door. Not a high one. I just want to see if it buffets you.
Yeah, it
You
does.
go to push the door. Once again, it is though something, maybe the storm itself, as I described, is attempting to keep you indoors. The whole building is shaking, and Gris, you placed a cup on the table. Rikus' half-drank, I guess, morning ale, or whatever it was. Maybe it was a cup of coffee. I don't know how he lives his life. But there's another plink. 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 This one's a little bit faster, and you have to drag another cup over. Stop that one. Take Lucas's cup, exactly.
So after that filled time, I think Kagura would definitely, I'm assuming Rikus just followed up behind him. I mean, he's just gonna grab him and be like, something is afoot here.
I won't make you make another check. If the two of you wish to lean into that door and push it open, you're more than welcome to do so.
Yeah, I will, just out of
Yeah.
to make sure no one's injured.
Yeah,
You're able to take my leave while I can.
You're able to push the door open and travel out into the streets proper. Yes,
can
Eppius.
Can he follow them and go across
Absolutely.
the river?
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely.
and he'd pat Gris in the back on the way out and say, "You mind coming with me? I don't like the sound of that out there.
Guess we're all.
I don't think we should be alone."
Just kind of
Yes.
just starts throwing shit on. Just yeah, let's go.
And yeah, I think Rikus will look at Lucas and say, "Lucas, come with us. If somebody's hurt, we'll need you."
Love it. I love it. So what we're going to do is the five of you move out into the downpour, this torrential downpour. And to describe it to you, you can barely see 10 feet in front of you. You have to constantly wipe the water out of your eyes, bring your hand up just to give yourself a little bit of an overhang on your like, little shield on your face. You are instantaneously, within seconds, completely drenched from head to toe. The ground itself is so sticky and soggy and waterlogged that it feels like it's gripping on. You've ever stepped into that real thick, soupy mud? It grips onto your boots, and you have to hold on to them to make sure you don't lose your boot in the mud. But you press on, and you press forward. And we're actually going to follow Gris, as well as, not Gris. We're going to follow Kelgadir and the good Rikus. We're going to follow him. If I can find where I put you guys, because this map is enormous. All right, right there. Perfect.
Did Lucas elect to go with those two?
Yeah,
I believe he did. Excellent. So we'll follow Lucas as well. So the three of you begin to press your way across the street towards kind of the smithy, also sort of towards where the meats are. And I'd like each of you, as you're pressing through, the rain is whoosh, whoosh, boom, flashes of lightning. And really the only time you can see just beyond a few feet, although it is morning, it should be bright, and the sun is likely somewhere behind these dark, ominous clouds. The clouds are blocking all sense of light other than the crashes of thunder and lightning, excuse me. But give us all perception checks if you would.
Wow.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Rikus, you look straight ahead towards the building that was struck by lightning. Luckily, there's another flash of lightning, and you watch as you look up at the top of the roof, and you don't see any smoldering, you don't see any sparks, no fire. It would be almost impossible, likely, for fire to start in such a waterlogged roof. However, with that 17 perception check, and Lucas, if you want to make a perception check as well, I encourage you to do so, because I don't see yours in there. But you think you see something. It's actually close to that lean-to. You think you see a outline of... Well, at first it looks humanoid, Rikus. But as you blink and your eyes somewhat adjust to this darkness and the water and the rain in your face, You think it looks more like, well, it looks humanoid. It looks like a person with 4 arms and 4 legs, but it looks like it's maybe missing flesh. Looks more like the outline, or I might even dare to say the skeleton of someone. You blink, there's another flash of lightning, and that visage, that shadowy looking figure by the lean-to is no longer there.
And yeah, Rikus will relay that to Lucas and Calgadir. I could have sworn I saw something.
Where is it at right here?
Correct. We'll say that's the lean-to right there.
It's almost looked like a skeleton standing erect.
I'll grab my holy symbol.
Just for a second, then it was gone between flashes.
As you grab your holy symbol, Lucas, normally when you grab onto this holy symbol of Milani, there is a sense of peace and purpose. It feels almost ice cold to the touch. It feels like that warmth and that connection to the goddess that grants you your divine power. It feels distant. It's almost like a bad phone call where you can barely make out every other word if you were trying to communicate, or you're trying to have a conversation with someone through styrofoam cups. A little string on the end. Hello, can you hear me? Something like that.
That's not good.
And Chagadir definitely would have told everybody about the chanting that he's hearing and how he thinks that he might be going crazy. But
Where's
Yes.
Calgadir at?
it's starting to make like the more this weird shit's happening, he's realizing that he's not in fact crazy. It's not because he's taken too many hits to the head, and it's some shit going down here.
I'm moving north with you guys.
All right.
Or wherever we're going. I can't tell on this map.
I can ping you back to where you need to be. You're right here.
Yeah, we were gonna. I mean, our intent was to go to the smithy because Kagata figures even though the rain and stuff, they might still be inside the building itself, right?
Sure, it's possible.
Doing something. And then he wanted to check on the building and say by lightning, because even if it's not on fire, it doesn't mean someone's not possibly injured inside, because lightning is lightning.
Dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
Oh, it's useful.
Yes. Well, also that.
I'll go with you guys.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess for the sake of whatever, let's just say this is the meat place because it looks got food and shit on the table, and then we can call it this a smithy.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Perfect. Works for me.
All right. So Kagadir is going to make his way towards the building first that was struck by lightning.
Helgadir, as you make your way over towards the building that was struck by lightning, Lucas, Rikus, close at hand as well, you look up, and you can see those dark clouds and the lightning that seems to arc through those clouds, disappearing behind and through them. You are 100% certain, no check required, that as you look up, maybe analyzing the roof, maybe looking up to see what was happening, if there was indeed any fire that you just had missed, you're pretty certain you see the outline of a large, winged, reptilian creature. Kind of flying, kind of zipping through the clouds themselves. Give me a will save.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Let's save. Will save is actually pretty good for a barbarian.
Calgadir. Calgadir, something seems off about this winged beast. Something seems not quite right. You recognize it at once. You are 99% sure what you just saw was a dragon, but a dragon, even in this rainstorm, even in this downpour, should cause noise. It should maybe block out a bit of rain as it flies over. This shadow, this creature you saw in the clouds, did nothing like that.
Hmm. Yeah, he definitely would have, he's like, I imagine he's walking side by side with Rikus and, just like grabs him, just like, look. And then sees that, he's like, that, well, that is just fucked. We're fucked and that's fucked. Um,
Uh, yeah, it's big, whatever it is.
I'm not crazy. You're seeing this, right?
Yeah, it's flying back and forth, zigzag, zigzag
As you
over the
watch
town.
it, you notice that it follows the exact same path again and again and
Hmm.
again and
Like,
never
over the town.
varies.
Yeah. I think we need to find Epius.
I agree.
He might
And
know more about this than we do.
and we'll just Rikus will turn back to Lucas and uh, any ideas? Is this some kind of premonition? Is it,
You got spellcraft. You could spellcraft it.
Let's see what I got here. I don't know if I got that.
Them two
Not
skill
trained
points a
in it.
level hurt.
Never trained in it.
All right. You're not sure. But as we pivot south of the town, we see two incredibly waterlogged individuals. One of them seems a little bit
soggy?
more at home in the water,
For sure.
in the logging, than the
Appius
other.
looks miserable.
But I'm assuming Epius looks absolutely miserable. So we see the two of them making their way
Rat
towards
cat.
the southern bridge. And as the two of you get just to that kind of road that breaks past the Wise Piper, your boots, Epius, those fancy boots, no matter how much prestidigitation you cast on them, they're going to remain so dirty for so long. You know it. It's going to take all your power to clean them. And they were very nice. Maybe even a gift from your father. I don't know. I digress. But as we watch,
My father was a farmer,
you...
not very nice.
Fair enough. But as we watch you move down and down and down, again, the rain coming down, it's getting harder and harder. I want both of you to make perception checks, please. Beautiful. Ah, Gris. Gris, there are... And I'm going to say there are, because they're not there is. There are a number of, well, figures that you see standing on the bridge that leads over to the barn that Epius was leading you to. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that a dozen you count? That once again, the flash of lightning, you can just see them illuminated. And they are not as big as the skeletal creature I described to Rikus. They are half that size, and their faces seem a little bit more beak-like, reptilian-like. But you see what you think are a dozen kobold skeletons milling about on that bridge. But it's probably just the lightning and the rain distracting you.
Epius gets just a full hand just in his chest, just stopping. Just on the bridge.
What on the
Doesn't-
bridge?
A dozen kobolds.
I don't see anything.
This. I'm seeing them with my own eyes right now.
Do they not poof with the lightning bolt?
You know what? Epius, you look over, another flash of lightning, crash of thunder. Yeah, they didn't poof. You see some kobold skeletons hanging out on that bridge.
Shit.
Just still hand on Epius, just take a full step back, pull an arrow out, and just get ready.
There is a drumming that you start to hear riding on this storm. Thum, 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 thum,
That's not good.
thum. Do
No.
either of you speak Draconic?
Appius does.
Ah, remember that little poem that I read earlier? That little phrase, little chant? You start to hear that, and it sounds very close. In fact, it sounds like these kobold skeletons might be singing it themselves. And that group of 12 skeletons begins to charge you with wild and unrestrained abandon. What would you like to do?
Lee.
Flee.
Yeah, we need Calgadir, we need Rikus, we need everybody.
The
Right
two
now.
of you begin to flee back towards the center of town.
Just fucking pulling
You
Epius
are
out of the
running.
mud. as we're
Epius, you are
running.
half being dragged. Gris, you are doing your damnedest just to keep him on his feet. Epius, I don't know if you're arguing or complaining or screaming, drag me faster.
Definitely drag me fast.
Drag me faster, drag me faster! And as you round the corner closer to where the wise piper is, you all but run into Kelgadir, Rikus, and Lucas, who have taken their time. You've been analyzing the exterior of this building, and once again there's that flash of lightning, and maybe even them running up on you starts you. I won't tell you how you feel, but it is all of a sudden, Gris, you are mostly out of breath, having dragged your friend with you. Epius, you are half drowning because you've been dragged and your face has been up in the sky and rain's been pelting you in the face and your eyes are all waterlogged. But I'm going to give you guys just a few seconds here before the your friends arrive.
Yes,
I
casts
kinda-
mirror image and doesn't speak, just turns back.
Full grab Calgadir on the shoulder and just kobolds, skeleton kobolds, dozen of them on the bridge chasing us, and just kind of whips around and just gets an arrow ready.
Okay, Calgary just immediately, axe in hand. Well, looks like we're getting an early stop to the day. And then just, he moves to, to put, at least make sure, Epius is behind him. And,
There is
Rikus will move up as well.
there is a single, imagine if you will, a bullseye lantern being lit in the middle of a storm. You could just see it kind of start to ignite, and then you'd see a little pinprick of light. You see one, then another, then another, then another, then another, then another, and then you see what looks to be close to, if not a little bit more, than a dozen burning kobold skeletons. What is perhaps slightly disconcerting about the
Are
majority
they
of
burning in
these
this rain?
kobold skeletons is that they are on fire in the rain, and each of them is also missing a head. They're also missing a head. And with that, my friends, we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll initiative. And may Milani have mercy on your souls.
Calgary just yells out, "What is it with skeletons and fire?" Because this is not the first time in this campaign he's fought a flaming skeleton already.
Epius will speak. I'm not prepared for this. My spells are made for the living.
I got something.
Oh, come on. One time I need a good fucking initiative.
Good thing we have a new day.
Yeah,
Rikus, geez, save some initiative for us.
really.
Sorry, guys. It's my first time having a good one. What are you complaining about?
Hi, my name is Ruckus.
I
I'd like to go
congratulate you for your
first.
good initiative.
Hi, my name's Rikus. I'm just better than the rest of you. It's so good. Alright, let me get everybody in the initiative here. Alright, but as they all begin to charge up to you, that chanting begins to not grow louder, as you might expect, but actually starts to sound more distant, as though whoever or whatever was singing it is beginning to move off. And Kelgadir, Lucas, and Rikus, that shadowy dragon form in the sky, seems to move off in another direction and then simply just vanish into thin air.
And a question, Jam, does the rain and thunder begin to abate as we notice this sort of moving off?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Very, very well. Good question, and well done, sir. So first up, we have this burning kobold skeleton that simply takes a double move to get right up next to Rikus. And Rikus, to imagine, if you will, a skeletal frame of a tiny, small-sized little kobold, small-sized, just engulfed in flame, and its very bones appear to be clad in almost looks like gold, as though it is gold-plated, and that gold is half melted as these flames are licking up down its wretched and bony-looking clawed hands. And it's missing its head, which is all the more creepy.
And I think, maybe showing that over the past week he's sort of got acclimated to the adventurer's lifestyle. Michaels will turn around to everybody, like almost excited, and say, "Their bones, gold on their bones."
Who would do that to a man's bones?
Yes, I gave that one for Chris. I love it. All right.
Thank you.
Of course, Seb's not the one to say it. All right, Rikus,
Throw it
you
out
are
there.
up second in the initiative, my good man.
Rikus is going to strike out at this kobold with his longsword.
Do it up. Let's make it happen.
Here we go.
16. 16, he says. 16 with Wild Abandon. Well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
The good news is it hits. The bad news is resistant to the damage.
The good news is it hits. The bad news is he's very resistant to the damage. But
Yeah.
that still deals a decent chunk of change. Your sword crashes in to its skeletal frame. There's no head or skull to strike, so you just bring it down, a heavy downward strike, and it's almost like a tink, 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 and you see it chip one of the ribs of its rib cage as it kind of wraps around to the front. You can see it kind of wraps around to the back. You chip one of them, but it does not fall, and in fact it seems to burn a bit brighter against the rain. And there's this constant sizzling noise as rain, although abating, is still striking it, but again, it does not diminish the flame. It's like the flame's consuming this downpour.
I think, just before his turn's over, Rikus will turn back to everybody and say, I think blunt weapons are going to be the order of the day here.
Next up, this one here, seeing an opportunity, is going to charge forward at Rikus, bringing its flaming clawed hand up to him with just malicious and murderous intent. And Rikus, what is your AC?
20.
20. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good AC. It's going to go ahead and take a quick little attack roll at you. 13. The clawed hand licks and scrapes the fire, kind of whipping up and kind of clipping up at your face, but it doesn't do any damage, and his attack does miss. Lucas, you're up next.
Lucas does what every good cleric should do when his party is being attacked, and he blesses. Milani, bless us.
Beautiful.
Everybody gets +1 on their attacks and for your saving throws.
Beautiful.
Whenever you cast it, Calculator just screams, I do not know your god, but he makes me feel wonderful.
Yes. I love it.
She, whatever.
Gris, you're up next.
I'm gonna rapid shot the dude in front of me.
Do it up.
So and now we're blessed, and this is kobold. So
These are not kobolds.
oh,
They're
these are
undead.
not.
No,
These
they're
are
undead.
just undead. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
creatures
right.
lose their
Womp
subtype
womp.
when they.
Womp womp womp.
So that's going
Bum,
to
bum,
be
bum, bum.
+1 to my attack. So that's going to be that and that.
The 18 is a hit. Your arrow plinks off its sternum. It doesn't appear to do that much damage to it, unfortunately. And the 12 does strike, but does no visible damage. No visible damage. Looks like it did not penetrate the armor, unfortunately. Anything else, Chris? 5-foot step? Cry to your mother? What would you like to do?
It's definitely crying.
Crying. Excellent.
No, I'm not gonna take a 5-foot step. I'm gonna stay where I am.
Here. Calgadir, you're up next.
So Calgadir is going to remove a potion from his belt
Mm-hmm.
and consume it.
Beautiful.
And Calculator is going to eat, need, choke. Drink a
large person.
potion of a large person. And then I believe I can still rage as a free action.
You gosh darn tootin'.
Alright,
Oh
so,
my god, he's so big.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he's going to enter a rage. So as he scrolls, just Vosalatura! Just a great axe over his head, and he's about to, just preparing to fuck
Love
some
it.
stuff up.
Epicus.
And that'll be his turn. Yeah.
Kelgadir has just doubled in size and ferocity.
Oh, that's helpful. Epius is going to command undead with his one spell that he can cast per day that isn't on his list or that
Beautiful.
isn't prepared.
Beautiful.
And he's going to grab this one back here, assuming it's unintelligent. It does not receive a save. Is it unintelligent?
It is unintelligent.
Back to the bridge, flee!
Which one did you want to
What?
grab?
This one.
This
This
one
one
right here?
was farther away, yeah.
Perfect. Yes. This one I'm just going to go ahead and give it a little panic button to remind myself. And you feel the spell enact control over this undead abomination. And you know it's about to flee.
Excellent.
Next up is this guy. Who's just going to charge Kelgadir, provoking an attack of opportunity as he moves through a threatened square.
All right.
Thanks to those
Um,
books I got in the
Mm,
wizard's house, I can do that.
all right. I've enabled a thing on my sheet for to take my size into account, so it should roll the appropriate. Okay, it is. Okay, 3 because my great X is from 1d12 to 3d6. 14 hit him.
Oh, 14 unfortunately does not hit him.
Damn.
Just.
It's this
that-
Flanders mud. He takes a step to swing, and his boot just
and then just kind of
sinks.
slips. You're not used to being this big. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Did
Yeah.
you have
So
bless on?
Kelgadir brings down
I do have bless on.
his mighty axe, and there is a sickening splorch. Mud splatters up, covering Epius's whole right side as that axe cuts into the ground. Epius, you are the dirtiest you've ever been in your life, and it smells of muck and horse manure that hasn't been cleaned out of the street. It's just terrible, absolutely terrible.
God, it reminds me like I'm back on the farm.
But
Oh.
the real bad news is that this skeleton is going to swing on Kelgadir
Yeah.
for a 20.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
20. And you will take. Do you have any fire resistance?
I don't believe so. I don't think I'm that type of
Take
blood rager.
12 points of damage as this creature just claws into your shin, scraping up the fire, burning and almost cauterizing the wound as it does so. You think that'd be a good thing, but it's not. It just hurts. It just hurts.
Yeah.
This one back here, seeing an opportunity, is also going to just double move up to here. Does anyone, namely Kelgadir, have combat reflexes? Or excuse me, combat expertise for multiple attacks of opportunity?
I do not.
All right. No
Did he
worries.
take his AOO already?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
he
did.
Okay.
That's what covered you in mud.
Oh, I thought that was your attack. Never mind.
No, I've got bless on, but because of enlarged person, it cancels it out.
This one sees an opportunity
yeah.
is going to charge the cleric for a 17 to hit. 17 to hit is a miss, I believe.
Let me see real quick. Sorry, I was looking at something. Nope,
You're
that
good.
does not hit me.
It's not hit. Beautiful. Beautiful. This one here, please. Please back towards the bridge.
Oh.
So we are now back to this skeleton right here, who is going to make a full attack against Rikus. First claw clangs into his shield. Second claw, you bat away with the blade of your sword. And Rikus, it is your turn.
Okay. All right. Now tell me this, GM. This is my Pathfinder noobness, but I do have a heavy shield. And do I need shield bash to use that as a weapon?
So you can use it as a weapon, but it counts as 2-weapon fighting. And if you don't have 2-weapon fighting, it gives you
I-
massive minuses.
Then we'll just stick with the
I-
sword. That's
I
all
think he
need.
means instead of the
Oh,
sword.
instead of the sword?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe a heavy shield is a D4. It might be a D6.
Before, yeah,
D4.
but it's
D4
bludgeoning
plus strength,
damage.
and it's
So
bludgeoning, yeah. You absolutely could use that in place of your sword. 100%.
Let's see. Oh, well,
let's see.
20 for 4. Is it the same one you hit?
Yeah.
You bash that one. As you bash into its chest, the chest caves in. This skeletal frame caves in on itself, and you watch as the fire begins to consume, starts to implode, and then, you guessed it, explodes, sending chunks of bone and fire in a 5-foot radius around it, which only hits you, Rikus, which is good. Only hits you. I need you to give me a reflex save, please. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go, Rikus.
Beautiful. You're going to take half of this damage. You take 2 damage. Boo-hoo.
And I think, yeah, Rikus just... Why does everything explode?
The one to the right of Rikus's perspective, left of the screen here, is going to double down on his attacks. 21. A 7. Does a 21 hit Rikus? I believe it misses still.
It does. No.
Beautiful. Does it?
Oh wait.
No, I think you have a 22 right now.
That is.
I'm showing
is that
22 on your sheet, but I don't know if that's... You have anything added on.
It's in the red.
2, 3. Yeah. 1 second.
Oh, is that with the,
you're right.
is that what the red thing
is that
by
what the
my
red
health
value
is?
is? Okay.
That is the red
Let's
thing
see,
by your health is
10
your
plus
AC.
6,
I have it tied to your AC.
3.
Correct.
Okay, cool. I had no idea. I was wondering. I was like, what is it? I've been trying for the past like 3 sessions to figure out what the fuck that was without asking.
Ask and you shall receive,
you know
my
what?
friend.
No,
Ask
that
and you shall
was.
receive.
I think that was from a previous. No, it's definitely 20. That
Okay.
was from a previous
Alright.
session. I got a deflection bonus from something.
Any fire resistance?
Yeah,
No,
I think,
I've got cold resistance because I have this rime pelt, but that's not gonna
You
fucking help me
take
here.
12 points of damage. The kobold skeleton takes its clawed little bony hands and doesn't claw at you, but takes it and it finds a little bit of a kind of a gap in your armor, shoves it up and into your gut, and you feel the flames lick up and burn up your stomach and kind of char it, and then it pulls it out and you can feel the warmth of both the fire and blood start to pool out.
Little bastard.
Right. Lucas, you're up next.
Well, I'm on a 5-foot step right there, and I was trying to draw a circle, but I can't do it. So, 30 feet.
It's all but 2.
All but this. All but the.
All but the
furthest
2 in the
ones.
back. Yeah. Will
I'm
saves.
going to do that ability. Milani, I call upon your holy power, and
Yes.
I hold up Milani's symbol,
Yes.
and I channel energy for 9.
Ooh, mama. What is the will save against that? What is the will
Damn.
save against yours?
Let's see. What does it say?
10 plus half level plus
10
charisma.
plus charisma. So I wish it would do that for me, but I didn't do it. So 10 plus half level is 11 plus 2, 13.
All right. All right. They have any... They don't have any resistances, extra. Okay. Let's see what happens. First one, 17. Still takes 4. Not bad, not bad. Second one, 7. You watch as this one right here, this... I imagine that channeling energy is literally like a dome of light that pulses out, and it is like the red actual flames of these burning skeletons. It is instead this golden sort of bright angelic fire that seems to pulse out from him. It strikes the first one, and that first one seems to resist it. The golden holy fire is combating with the red fire of him, and neither of them are really winning. The second one, though, takes that full brunt, and you watch as the fire is muted by the golden, holy white light that flies out from his channel, and that thing just turns to ash. Gone. Dead. Defeated. The next one back here, I'm going to make a save for him. 2. That one bursts into shards, explodes backwards, and takes the one behind him out with him as well. Because that was a nat 1, and I think that's hilarious. So that one gets taken out as well. Just boom, flies backward, takes this one out too, even though it wasn't in the radius. Totally fine. This one here, 12, also turns to ash. This one here,
Lucas.
boom, turns to ash.
Oh,
Just
There
done.
you go. That's
This
the
one
boy
here.
right there.
Boom! Survives, but
survives.
doesn't look too good. The one in front of Kelgadir that had clawed at him, boom, turns to ash. This one here, boom, is still up, but not looking too shabby, not looking too good. And the last one, boom, manages to survive. But in one fell swoop,
Completely turned the tide.
there is a moment as this light starts to clear that you can see a break in the clouds above, and just a trickle of sunlight comes down upon your group. And you all feel in this moment partially and slightly emboldened. And I'm actually going to go ahead and grant you all the prayer spell in this moment, just because of how fucking badass that channel energy was. You get +1 to attack and damage on top of the +1 to attack from his current bless spell. Absolutely fantastic channel. Absolutely fantastic channel. Next up we have Gris. Gris, you're feeling as dandy as can be. How would you like to proceed?
I'm going to rapid shot this man here.
Get it up. Get it up. I love it.
All right, so that's a +2 now to that, correct?
+2 to attack. Yes, that is correct. And +1 to
And
damage from the prayer.
Yeah,
Just
you
for one
you
round.
can-
I want to be clear. Just for one round. Just this next
Right.
round, and then it's gone.
yeah, I mean, you just got it's in the buff thing. It's a drop down for it.
Yeah, it's in the buff menu.
He's using a custom macro. You input your values. But
That's
a
a
crit
nat one.
confirm there.
But a crit confirm. The crit confirm will take him out. Reroll that first attack if you would be so kind, my friend. Just reroll the macro.
Okay, the full macro.
Oh, there's the
No.
confirm there for the 16.
Oh, that is a 16. You're right. So it's right there. I forgot that you put those in there. So the good news is that you fire that arrow. Unfortunately, that first arrow, it breaks as you launch it. It goes 3 feet away and just snaps, spirals
You
away, but
over-sharpened
you
it.
quickly bring the other one back. Whoop. Strikes that thing right sternum and explodes backwards. And luckily, it wasn't close enough to anyone to actually deal them any damage, which is fantastic. This one here, though, is going to 5-foot up, and it's going to go hogged wild on Calgadir, striking him twice for a whopping 12 and 14 damage.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Just
God.
and as it strikes you twice, this activates a special ability that these kobolds have. It is going to rend you. It is going to rend you, which is
This
super
motherfucker.
unfortunate. Which all that is an additional damage that automatically hits for another 12.
Oh my.
Oh, so imagine, if you will, this giant ass Calgadir. This kobold just almost skittering along the ground like some sort of like demonically possessed
strings him.
frickin', out of the Shining shit. Just runs up Calgadir and just starts
Oh my god.
and he just spills backwards onto the ground. Still large size, but he is down for the count right now. This other kobold here is down. This kobold over here is going to pivot around directly towards Lucas for a nat 20. The kobolds are back in action. Does not confirm. But Lucas, you are so shocked by Kelgadir falling back. Maybe you're feeling proud of yourself with that channel that you don't see this burning kobold skeleton pivot up behind you for 11 points of damage as it claws at your back calf, tearing out a
Goddamn.
chunk of both flesh and muscle from that attack. Kelgadir, give us a... You are still conscious, aren't you? Don't you have
Yeah, I have raging vitality.
Don't you have Die Hard?
No.
You don't. You gotta get yourself some Die Hard. Get yourself
Yeah.
some Die Hard. But
Well,
give us
at
a
least
con
I've-
check.
I have raging vitality, so I don't drop
Yeah.
rage when I get TKO'd.
Give us a con check if you would be so kind.
All right. Well, my con's currently 21. So
You're gonna be all right. You're gonna be all right. Oh, lose 1 HP. That is unfortunate. That is
Spoke
freaking
too
unfortunate.
soon.
Epius. Calgadir is
All-
down on his back. What do you
All
wanna
of the
do?
kobolds up except for the one that's uninjured all look about the same, right?
Correct.
They all look.
correct.
All right. He's going to Hand of the Apprentice. This
Oh,
one
it's
on
not-
Lucas.
it's
I love it.
five.
I love it. Do it up. Do it
Actually,
up.
it's
And
only
do it up.
4.
The other one can make a. Okay, no damage though.
Flies forward, strikes into the skeleton, and just blink, flies back to you. The clouds are breaking very quickly, and there are more rays and bits of sunlight starting to trickle down.
And I think this guy gets an AOO on me,
He does.
but I have my mirror image up. So I'm not
11.
worried about it. 11's a hit. Mirror image.
All right. 1d4, 1d6.
1d5.
1d5. Oh, he gotcha!
Hit.
He gotcha!
All right. He's going to use Windy Escape as an immediate action to reduce that damage by 10.
Ooh. You take... does that reduce fire damage?
It,
I think it's
reducing
only
insubstantial, allowing to pass harmlessly through DR10 magic. Yep.
So
His attacks aren't magic, are they?
he's not
Plus
sure at
1
magic.
claws.
Just claws. So you take 0 damage, which is amazing.
Oh, excellent.
This one here is down. That one is now going to take its regular attacks. Because it sees that there are so many of you and it wants to kill all of you. That is 2 hits?
On me, yes.
Yeah. Oh, my stars. All right, let's roll. All right.
5.
You lose. You lose 2 of your mirror images as it
All
swipes
right.
wildly, but ineffectually. This kobold is down. This kobold is down. This kobold is still up. It sees that Rikus is feeling left out, so it's going to charge him for a 21.
Oh, that's a hit.
21 points.
I
of
like how
damage.
they're getting they're barely hitting me and they're barely hitting him on 2 completely opposite ends of the
14
spectrum.
points of damage to
14.
Rikus as it charges forward. And it goes to go low, and you go to block it, and as your shield blocks that claw, the second claw comes around and just grabs onto your face, dragging down, scratching your eye, and tearing off a whole chunk of your cheek. The fire licks up, ripping up, and actually singes your eyebrow off, and almost kind of like burns off your eye part of your eyelashes as well. It hurts and it stings, and that eye you've got to kind of keep closed at this moment. This last one here is clink, 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 running away. That one that you can see it now. The rain is almost stopped completely. Next up is this one who's down. And Rikus, you're not feeling great, but you'll be all right. Maybe we'll see.
Can't move though and let Epius
FPS is gonna die. if you
I'm
move.
scared.
take. Yeah,
I have
exactly.
3 images.
I think the one in front of me I've hit, right?
No,
Has
I think
been
all
hit?
the ones
that one
on
just
are
showed up. You
Oh,
have not
the
hit that
one
one.
on the side, I thought you
Oh,
did.
this
That
one?
one has
That one was
all
affected.
of them
That
have
one
been
was
hit. All of them have been hit
by the
except for the
channel
one that
energy, right?
just hit you. That's the only one that
Okay.
wasn't damaged.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hit the one that has already been hit. I'm gonna try to bash it with my shield
Go
again.
up. Ooh, that's a hit for 4 damage. You strike into it, and it explodes,
Well, I figured it would.
sending chunks of bone
Alright.
and fire. I need you to give me a reflex save. Epius, you're going to take the full damage. Unfortunately, Calgadir will also take the full damage because he's right next to there.
He has a lot of con.
It is 7 damage. You are only taking 3, Rikus.
Oh,
You managed to
still
block
up.
it most with your shield. But Calgadir, you take an additional 7 points of damage, as does Epius. Alright.
Did that wrong.
Alright.
I think, at this point, Rikus is barely standing.
Lucas, there is a... Things went well, and then they went poorly very quickly. What should I do?
There's a problem.
I'm gonna, 5 foot away, and he'll call upon Milani again for
Channel the harm undead?
damage. Undead.
Let's go!
8.
Boom! And no matter what they roll, that is enough to take out the remainder of these burning skeletons. As he grabs onto his holy symbol, Lucas, there is that cold feeling. But the first channel, you felt it almost as though it's a heat pack that you've just cracked, and the chemicals are mixturing. You can kind of feel it start to heat up, like it's been in a cold car for a while, and you just broke it to heat up your cold hands from winter. You can feel it start to warm up, and that second pulse of golden, white, holy energy, that symbol feels normal again. And as you pulse out that 30-foot sphere of energy, you watch as each of the skeletons turns to ash, vanishing into the dust and the water-sogged and logged ground.
And then I will pull out a wand.
And as the dust settles and you pull out the wand,
You know what? Never mind.
the
I will not pull out
clouds
the wand.
break,
I will channel and heal.
and there's a trickle of light the sun. It looks to be about maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And as though nothing had really happened, you see one person exit their house and start to go about their business. Then another, then another. From behind you, you hear the sounds of the forge being ignited. And the cling, cling, clang, hammer on anvil. The town of Belhaim seems to be back to its usual, quaint, quiet self.
I don't like that.
Calculator comes back to consciousness. It's like, did we win? Did we win?
Yeah.
By
and
your
here,
conscious.
It's up for
6
debate,
more.
but yes, I think so.
6 more for you.
Gris just kind of grabs Rikus's head.
Why
And is
does
like,
it-
let me look at it. Let me look. Let me. You'll be
It's-
fine. You'll be fine. You're good
It's,
now.
but Gris,
You look
this
like
was
shit.
this was my good side.
Well,
Appius is
it's
looking around
not- the
angrily.
other-
He's not
the other-
happy.
The other side's the good side now, man.
Appius,
But
I'd like to follow you, Gris. Forgive me for interrupting. Continue.
Just, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. It's a good skull. People are gonna like that.
Yeah.
I just walk up with the wand and touch the scar.
It will heal.
Well, I mean, don't get rid of it completely.
But I always imagined that magic healing, it
Just
fixes
accelerates
it,
what would happen.
accelerates the healing, but you still have a wicked scar, like a real badass like claw mark over your face, maybe a little bit of like warped, sort of half melted flesh from where the fire burned you. It looks pretty badass. Definitely a conversation starter.
7 for you, Rikus, for that.
7, beautiful.
I should get you somewhere. And then I go back
Yeah.
to Calgadir.
I have a casting of,
2.
of infernal healing if you want me to use that instead of the wand.
If you'd like, yes.
Yeah,
If
I'll-
people
I'll-
like
I'll-
that.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it's whatever.
Either of you.
Calculator will take it. He doesn't care.
Yeah, I mean,
Thumbprint of devil blood on Calgadir's forehead.
He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand magic. He's not a shaman.
I forgot about that. He's not a shaman. You wouldn't know.
He's not a shaman. Look. Magic is. He doesn't try to understand it. It's just.
It's the ends, not the means.
Yeah. Appius stomps off towards the barn.
And as you are beginning to stomp off towards the barn, Appius, angrily, from behind you, the 5 of you hear a familiar voice. It is the barkeep herself. It is Talia. And she calls out, "Friends, is everything all right? I didn't expect to see you all standing in the middle of the street. There's been a horrible downpour, and the weather finally broke. I was nervous that the whole city was about to be flooded. You see..." It is as though she just suddenly realizes that you all look to be, I suppose, injured slightly. It looks
Gris
like you've
pulls
all
an
been in a bit
arrow.
of a tussle. What happened? She watches as Gris draws the arrow and looks a little nervous.
He doesn't notch it. He just puts it on his hand, on the bow, and he's just staring, baffled.
The Calculator's. I mean, he's standing there essentially with his like legs are just covered in blood. Kobolds. We had to fight many kobolds.
Kobolds?
When you get the chance.
Here in the town? Where are they? Are there more? Should I alert the guard?
Appius looks over his shoulder and says, "Join me when you get the chance, Gris," and continues stomping off.
Calculator's debating with himself how much he wants to. Was the information that the innkeep wasn't as though she seems? I'm assuming that was shared. The rest of us, I can't remember.
I did.
It's
Yeah.
been weeks. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he refrains from telling her about the flaming skeleton part. Yes, in the downpour, we got them. Don't worry.
Well, it is good to know
Yeah.
that you are here to protect our small town. Although I respect and believe that Hod has his heart in it, he is not a capable warrior like the 5 of you.
And I'm going to sense motive on her.
Absolutely, you can sense motive on her.
I did. 22.
Patrick.
So-
Oh yeah.
So, Lucas,
Lucas.
something's off. You don't know what it is. Your gut is telling you something is off about really the whole affair, the whole situation here in town. What it is, you don't know, but something is off. In this moment, she is ardent. She is candid and honest about her feelings. She is concerned about all of you, and she is grateful for what you've done. But you cannot shake the feeling that there's more to this woman than just being the young tavern keeper of the Wise Piper.
Gris quietly to Calgadir or Rikus or whoever's right next to him would go,
Yeah.
in the middle of that fight is when it started to break. Somebody would have heard all that fucking noise.
True. Someone would have heard
What?
something.
But everybody's acting like it's just another day.
Like nothing had happened.
I don't like this.
I don't either.
I don't like Epius going off on his fucking own.
He
I made
left
up with you.
alone?
Trudge.
Yeah, he
trudge.
he
Did
fucked
we
off
go
to go to the
after-
barn.
Is my skeleton on this bridge?
Is my skill.
You've literally killed yourself. No, you're fine, Epius. You're not a skeleton on the bridge.
No, but it's my skeleton on this bridge. The
The one
skeleton I
he told
commanded
to
to
flee
run
to the
to the
bridge.
bridge.
Oh, that's funny. That is hilarious.
That spell lasted day 11.
You know what? It is,
Just standing there.
but it is not burning, and it is not standing there. It is just on the middle of the bridge, intact, but inert.
And
The skeleton starts to try and move and stand. It struggles, and its left arm shatters. It continues to attempt to stand and finally makes its way to its feet. As you analyze the bones of the skeleton, they no longer seem to be clad in gold, as I described them before. They appear to be... Well, they appear to be very, very ancient. Almost dust. Just old, dusty bones. But it slowly stands and turns, its left arm broken, just below the elbow, and it turns to face you, still missing its head.
I'll get fixed. And he continues off towards the barn.
The
With skeleton in tow, provided
kobold
it can follow.
skeleton follows behind you. Bones creaking and grinding. But it will follow behind you. Indeed.
After Gris making his comment known to Calgadir and Rikus, he's going to pretty much say, I don't like what's happening here. I'm gonna go make sure Epius doesn't get himself killed.
Well, you all seem to
Good
be
choice.
busy with whatever it is you're handling. I was feeling a bit under the weather this morning, but ever since the storm broke, I feel more myself. I'll be at the Wise Piper if you need anything. Have a lovely morning. Especially you, Lucas. Just kidding. And then she'll dip off.
I'm like, I'm going to have to wand Calgadir a few times, though.
Just
Yeah.
poke him in the back.
Did you add the 10 from Infernal
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. I just have
Mm.
37 hit
Yeah.
points on the buff, so it's
Nope.
just a lot.
Healing? I just wanted to make sure you.
Yeah.
So we
For-
see Gris running quickly after Epius, and Epius, you are moving away with your new skeleton buddy. Gris, you cross the bridge and you see a skeleton chasing after Epius, but he doesn't seem nervous about it.
I still have an arrow in hand. It gets notched. Epius behind you.
It's friendly.
As Epius mentions it's friendly, its left leg cracks in half and it falls over, and then attempts to stand back up but is struggling.
Just hopping on one leg.
Yep,
Can I make whole its leg back together?
absolutely.
Or do I need negative energy?
You know what? I'd totally let you make whole its leg back together. Why not?
All right, he's gonna start making whole these bones that start breaking apart
Yeah,
back together.
You start putting it back together. As it breaks, you put it back together. As it breaks, you put it back together. And eventually you have basically a brand new skeleton.
Well,
These things almost killed Calgadir. Why do we have one?
Because I commanded it. It's good for 3 days. Then I'll need to cast it again.
19, Calgadir, 19.
19. Okay, so
Do you want to turn allies away when we can get them?
No, but what do we do with it?
Well, it's gonna protect the barn for now.
Okay, all right. Why did you run off? Let's not be. After that, let's not be separated.
Because the cleric will kill it on the spot.
Why would he do that? You just told me he's friendly.
Yes, he's friendly, but he's an abomination.
I don't go to church. I don't know how that all works, I guess. Okay.
If the cleric sees him, he will destroy him, or at least ask me to. I'm not sure how. Arden is
Milani's
going to be
probably
about
not into that.
Do I get a tarp? What do I do?
Well, I'm gonna stick him in the hay pile in the corner.
We should put him in a sack.
Okay. All right. I'll follow you then. I don't understand this
Yeah.
whole situation.
So
but-
he sticks him in the hay pile in the corner and says, "If anyone enters and doesn't speak the passphrase golem, rise and attack them."
Crinkle, crinkle, crack, crack.
Yep.
I like that friendly skeleton is in quotes.
Yeah, he's the friendly skeleton. Also, I'm gonna name him Evidence.
Evidence the friendly skeleton.
Yes.
We can call him Evan.
Hilarious, Blau. Hilarious.
Oh, Gris is so confused. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Beautiful.
He's scared.
Here, tell
I'm
here.
scared.
I need to start carving these bodies apart. The bodies are prepared. They're not gonna rot anymore. I got the unguents on them. But help me cut these up.
Rick does 7 more.
All right. Yeah. Start cutting.
Yeah.
Follow.
So
Gris can follow orders like the best of them. He just.
Oh, here, take these gloves, elbow length gloves, and an apron. F just puts one on himself and gets to work.
This is some Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit right here.
Gris has no idea he's getting involved in horrible, like psychotic things. Right now. He's just like, oh, you need help? Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I'll
the guy
skin
that
him.
the director of Human Centipede needed something else to do.
As he's cutting, says, "We only need about half the bones, but we need more or less all the muscle and all the hide."
And I can do. I'm a huntsman. I just start skinning kobolds like nobody's business.
Oh, he hates kobolds. He's all good for this, I
Yeah.
bet.
Oh yeah. Like filleting fish.
All right. I hate to do this, but I just got a text message that I really need to handle, gentlemen. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this message short here, this session short. This is actually very important.
No problem.
So I apologize.
Hope
but
everything's okay.
It should be. It should be.
Okay.
But yeah, I apologize. I just saw this come through, and I actually really need to handle this. So we are unfortunately going to cut this session short. We'll pick up with part 2 of session 6 next Monday. But in the meantime, I do appreciate you guys playing here tonight. That was a lot of fun, and we will catch you guys next
a
week.
blast.
So cheers till next time. Thank you, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Absolutely.
See ya.
You guys have a good one.